everybody. I'm Juan, and the Chief Marketing Officer at Shades by Shan. I'm so happy to be here with all of you guys, and thank you for our special panel, and thank you to our LJPR team for putting this together. I really appreciate it, and also you beautiful ladies. I'll let you introduce yourselves. But thank you again for coming. Please have a drink, have charcuterie, and then after you can get a free complimentary foundation on us and get color match. So thank you again.
Yay.
All right, you can kick it off. Introduce yourselves.
Amazing. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I am Genesis. I am the beauty editor at Ocoa Daily, and I'm so excited to be here with these amazing, incredible women. Happy Latin Heritage Month.
Yes,
Give us a round of applause. I'd love to introduce our amazing panelists. Of course, we have Shan, the CEO of Shades by Shan. If you haven't already, get your shade match after. Foundation coming. We also have Cory Varona-Corniel, and she is the co-founder of Ocoa Beauty, which recently just launched in Ulta. And then we have Perez. She is the founder and executive director of a nonprofit called Latinas in Beauty. So we have a really exciting conversation, so we can jump right into it. Sit down, get comfy.
The shortest gets the highest.
Would you like to chocolate? Do you need a hand?
I
Okay. Now I understand.
Oh, I see it now.
She came to me, she's like, you don't want that one? I was like, that's fine.
I'm just gonna. Are you good at
It's not that kind of show. So funny. All right, well, hello, ladies. I want to start with the basics. Tell us about your journeys. How did you get started? If it's okay, I'd love to start with Shan.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you previously worked in radio, and can you talk more about your experiences? What made you want to start your own brand? I would love to learn all about it.
Totally. Okay, so it's actually funny. I'm still in radio. I left radio after I started Shades by Shan, but I recently got back into it, and now I'm on 2 shows, and I'm on like 34 syndicated markets. So I started another show with he's called Eric Zachary, the XYZ show. But how I started Shades by Shan was, this is back when the Kylie era was happening, with all these influencers starting their thing, and I was that person like, oh my gosh, it's Kylie Jenner, let me open up 17 computer screens and try to like buy all her stuff. And then I got this stuff and I was like, oh, what's going on here, you know? So then I thought to myself, well, you know, my mom always instilled in my sister Erica and I to tienen que comenzar algo de ustedes propias, because you're never going to make money working for somebody else. And that always resonated with me, because I was in radio. I didn't have a conventional job. All I kind of knew was how to talk and connect to people, but I loved makeup. I was that girly going to these big box retailers and trying to find the latest and greatest just to get home and be disappointed. And so I thought to myself, well, why can't I come out with something that's consistent and good and that has great quality, it's affordable, because I know good makeup versus bad makeup. And I had a little bit of a following in San Francisco, not as big as like these mega influencers, but I was like, you know what, le voy a echar ganas. And I also was instilled with my mom that, give back, help the community. How are you going to leave a legacy behind? What are you going to do to help? And I thought long and hard, and the answer was right in front of my face. It was our single mom who immigrated from Ecuador. We were first generation, and our dad left us when we were a year old. We had no family, and my mom really tried to build her little American dream, English not being her first language. And I saw how hard she struggled. So my sister and I tried to find charities to help single parents in need, and back then, 7 years ago, there were none. And I go, well, you hear of people starting nonprofits all the time. Why can't we start that? And that was probably the hardest thing we've ever done. But we started our own 501c3, and we named it in honor of my mom, Mama Berries. And we presented it to her on Mother's Day. So that was like all the waterworks. But we launched Shades by Shan out of her basement, and we started with 2 products, and all the little inventory that we had that we thought would last 6 months would sell out and sell out and sell out. And we're like, well, what is going on here? This is kind of crazy. And it was really just single parents being like, hey, who are you? What are you doing? What is this brand? I'm a single mom. I just want to support because nobody does shit for me. You know what I mean? And everybody in here is touched by a single mom, single dad. Whether you think about it or not, like you are touched by it. So so many people were coming out of the woodworks just wanting to support. And then we kept, launching and launching. And then, believe it or not, now we got a call from JCPenney 2 years ago, and they said, we want all of your products. We want to bring you in all 610 JCPenney stores nationwide. And we're one of the top 5 beauty brands right now at JCPenney. So it's crazy. And now we're launching 40 Shades of Foundation. It's very historical because we're one of the first, if not the first, Latina to come out with 40 shades of foundation and concealer at the same time at a major retailer ever.
At the same time.
It's huge.
Such a big deal.
So that's kind of a little bit about my story and how we started. And so I was also connecting with a lot of the girls in here, like trying to sit in this moment because it all goes by so fast. And the way we started, I used to be embarrassed about it and not tell people like, oh, I packaged orders in my mom's garage with my baby on my hip, and my mom used to help me package my orders and figure out what bubble wrap to use. So that's how we started. But now I'm so orgullosa. I'm so proud of it. I'm like, fuck that shit. Like, this is my story, and I'm so freaking proud of it. So yeah, that's how we started.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
When we touched about nonprofit, I would love to talk about you and Malia. How did you get started with Latinas in Beauty?
Yeah, so on a professional side, I've been in the corporate space for over 15 years. Latinas in Beauty grew out of the desire to create community and unite Latinas across the entire beauty ecosystem because I was seeking community. And it started with an Instagram post and organically grew from there. And 5 years later, we're now a nonprofit advocating for all of you, and lovely to see some of our community members here today.
How amazing. What was the Instagram post that you...
It was literally just Latinas in Beauty, and I said, this is a community for you, and we will provide access to resources, education, and funding.
Amazing.
Yeah, and they're doing that.
Yeah.
Right? They're really doing that. They had a whole cohort that these classes, that was like a 3-day long thing
It was
in
a
LA.
3-day accelerated program with Pepperdine University, backed by
Incredible.
Nordstrom.
I can't. We're going to dive into it. I'm
right?
so
All
excited
from an
to learn
Instagram
more about
post.
it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Well, the fact that it started over an Instagram post is awesome.
Yeah.
Cory, I would love to know, what about you?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me here. I mean, the fact that you guys are all here, spending time together, I think that's huge. And I was listening to the stories, and I'm like, I can relate so much. First, community, and also your mom. So for us, is my sister and I, Nicole, created Ocoa. Ocoa is clean curl care for hermanas everywhere, and we were just inspired by our own journey. So we started our business not because we wanted to go on to Ulta. We started because we wanted to just create something different. We were transitioning from very damaged, chemically treated hair to our natural curls. And in that transition, I had a lot of issues with my hormones. I was diagnosed with preeclampsia with my first baby. And then I started to seek natural treatment. So it started with deodorant, and started with looking at ingredients. So I got very curious, and I enrolled myself to learn how to formulate products. So I started in my kitchen formulating products, came up with our curl cream, which is our best seller right now. And from there, we're like, what can we do to make this a stable product that we can sell and share with the community? And from there, it just became what Ocoa is now. For us, it's deeply rooted in our culture. Ocoa is actually a place you can visit in Dominican Republic, and it's my mom's hometown. So that's the connection that I see. Everything we do, Latinos, we bring our family, we bring our community with us. And
Whether they like it or not.
and that is something that's just who we are, and we need to be proud about connecting it to our roots, and also the fact that we're just like to help people. So that inspiration of being very passionate about helping people has led to the opportunity of now becoming the first Dominican brand at Ulta. And that is so it all came from literally my sister and I trying to find a way to help our curly hair, to now embracing our curly hair and helping other women embrace who they're born to be.
my curls.
I was gonna say, that's super inspiring, and I know you talked about in your journey, you and your sister actually grew up like really not embracing your hair at all, and like it was considered pelo malo, and that was something that you had to learn to accept. So like, how has your relationship with your hair evolved throughout this journey, and what have you learned?
That's a great question. First of all, the pelo malo term, I think a lot of people relate to, because we don't see curly hair as something that you wear to weddings. You don't see that as something that you go to a special event and embrace. So for us, it was that. It was, we grew up not having role models. So my mom didn't know. I can't blame her for like taking me to a hair salon when I was 8 years old. Like, she just didn't know how to deal with my hair. Society didn't really teach or prepare us to embrace the different textures. We were following Eurocentric forms, and at the end of the day, that built the way that our culture is. And then to actually come out of that took a lot, because I would say the transition period was the hardest part. Just to see your hair, like, you know, you've seen your hair was straight hair for so long, and then you're kind of seeing that transition of hair just changing. It took time and patience, and at the end of the day, if you are very sold and like trying to accomplish something, I think that's what helped us. But at the end of the day, it's like, how can we help other generations not go through that? How can we just like help inspire young? Actually, Nicole and I have kids. I have two. My daughter is 4, and every time I see her curly hair and how much she loves it, it just gives me so much hope, because she really loves who she is. No matter what, she can straighten one day, and that's fine. She can go back and always go back to her curls. So that is what we want to teach new generations, and also our moms, our tias, our abuelas. Hey, you can also rock your curly hair. So all of that together, it's a way of expression and a way to actually feel free.
And has your family like actually started to, like your moms and the tias, have they started to embrace it a little
So
more?
it's hard. That's hard. Like, once you have that branch that is already like, For example, my mom, she uses our shampoo and conditioner, which I welcome everybody to try it. We have samples in the bags. Everybody can use our cleansing products. And then with my mom, we do her hair curly every so often, but you know, it gets to a point that you have treated your hair to, you know, chemically treated your hair to a point that it's really hard to kind of revert back. But I think at the end of the day, it's just understanding that hair, how can you get her hair to a healthy state? And that's like my main priority with her. And then obviously helping other women, but I think focusing on your health and your scalp is just honestly, like, if I see her doing that, I'm satisfied.
And I love that. Well, now you're setting the example for future generations.
Yeah.
So, and I want to talk a little bit more about family. I'm a first generation Salvadoran American. And I didn't ever consider pursuing a creative career. I didn't think it was a real option for me until I got older, just because it's so different from what our families know and what we're exposed to, you know? It's like you go to college and you'd be a teacher, a doctor, like what's a beauty editor? What? Like you know? So I wanted to know if any of you guys have a similar experience being first generation. Like, what was it like to be a trailblazer? Did your family support you? Like, what did that experience look like, and how was it?
A little bit of both. I studied media communications in college, and then I got an internship at the radio station, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. This is great. This is gonna be my end all be all. And my mom was super supportive, and then I interned for 4 years for free, and she was like, okay, mija, like, you gotta get a real good. And but I had to be like, no, I'm working towards my goal, Mom. I swear to God, like I'm almost there. And then, you know, thankfully I ended up like going up in the ranks. But I do remember starting Shades by Shan. She was also very supportive, and my sister and I started Shades by Shan with $1,500 each, and we turned it into a multi-million-dollar business.
Amazing.
But it didn't happen overnight. You know, it took a really long time, and I remember I'm gonna just put him on blast. My Tío Carlos, he did our taxes, and my sister was a big wig executive in Asia, and she had been living there for 12 years, and she quit her job to help me start Shades by Shan, and she was only supposed to help me start it for about 6 months, and she was like, okay, then I'm gonna get my job. But then she was like, no, I love this, I wanna keep going, and but I remember after a few years, my Tío Carlos, who was our accountant, turned to my sister and was like, hija, like, this is enough. Like, you guys are not making money. I know what you are capable of. It's time to go get a big girl job, and this is like, you gotta figure this out. This is not working. And my sister came home and she was like, bitch, I have she goes, I have the biggest fire lit under my ass right now. We are going to blow this shit up. And I'm like, yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I remember my Tío Carlos came to our big launch party at JCPenney when we launched in 610 stores, and he went up to my sister and apologized. So that was a big deal.
It's a huge
Prove it wrong, Tío. So that was a huge part, but it's like you want to work on your dreams and you want to prove, but it takes time, and there's no such thing as an overnight success. I feel like, now that we hit we say this is our lucky year 7, we're starting to see the fruits of our labor. We're starting to see our hard work start to pay off, but it took a really long time, and you have to believe so much in yourself. You have to be obsessed with it, because there's going to be that noise of like, I don't really know, like, oh, that's a cute hobby, oh, you like makeup, oh, that's real cute, but no, I can make a career of this, I can build a legacy behind it, but te tienes que poner los calzones bien puestos, because people are going to come after you, and you got to be prepared for that.
Totally.
I mean, for me, it was actually the opposite. Like, our family was very supportive, but we don't come from a wealthy family, right? Like, you don't have a mom or like an uncle or a grandfather who's like gonna drop you money and say, hey, here's funding for you to start. So that was the opposite with us. But I mean, like, we actually migrated here. So I actually was born in the Dominican Republic, and I moved here when I was 14. So it was a different dynamic, because we were like, okay, trying to make a life in another country, and then on top of that, it's like I was able to get my MBA, I was able to go to school, and I had a good job, and then my mom just questioned it. She never was like, don't do it. She was more like, are you sure you're gonna leave that job for that? Like, she just didn't have she had the hope, but I just feel like the fact that she didn't have the money to say, here's the money to like continue to grow, was a little scary for her. But I think overall, since day one, they might not help like with funding, but they help you with like sweat equity. They help by like actually packaging orders and helping us from the beginning. So that is the support that I think our familia always have. That's why your Tío Carlos apologized, because at the end of the day, they just might have to see more proof, more receipts, but at the end of the day, they're always there for you, and they're gonna help in whatever way they can. And I just love that about our heritage, and I love that about our people.
Yeah, and you understand, like, I mean, I understand like the concerns that they come from when they don't see something making money right away, because it's like what a privilege to be able to like you gotta make money, you gotta, like you come here from another country, you're starting a whole new life. So like it's really lovely to hear that both of you guys have families that were supportive, and even though there were some.
Yeah.
We proved that wrong.
Yeah.
Do you have a similar experience?
No, I think for me, I'm also a proud immigrant. I moved to the U.S. from Brazil when I was 10. My side, I think from this angle of conversation, I really want to bring it to the point of like starting Latinas in Beauty. So I have a day job, I have 2 children, and this is a passion. So my passion led to my purpose, and I've donated my personal time to build this community. And I've always had my husband as an engineer, a business guy, being like, Emily, you're self-funding this, you're spending your time, when are you gonna get paid? When's the money gonna get? You're away from the kids, I'm doing all the work when you're not here, like when is the money gonna come? And I told him, I was like, I have this sense of force that keeps pushing me forward, that the day would come where this industry will see us for the true impact and influence that we bring to this industry. So I feel like it's larger than me, and I know the day will come when I show him.
100%. Which brings me to my next question. I mean, beauty brands cost money, they take time, it needs funding. Can you guys touched on it a little bit, but can you speak more about the challenges like this or any other challenges? I mean, I know we have some moms here, and like what is that like navigating?
Well, I know you guys will probably get down to the nitty gritty, but I think it's important to share that in the beauty industry, BIPOC and Latin-owned brands receive less than 0.04%, 0.4% of capital funding.
Wow.
So the funding is extremely limited. So for them to be in the stores that they're in and the success that they're getting, like they deserve like a round of applause.
Yeah, it was really hard, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like people need to put their money where their mouth is, because when JCPenney, gave us the news, and they're like, oh no, I thought they were just gonna try to put us into our local little JCPenney stores, right? I'm like, oh, maybe 3 stores, like, ooh, that's gonna be so awesome for us. But they're like 610 stores. And me and Juanito, we were like, oh my gosh, yes, we made it! And I remember my sister Erica was like, caca face. And I'm like, what? And she's like, do you guys hear yourselves? Oh, she was like, dude, this takes capital. We don't have this shit. Like this, están soñando. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, how are we gonna do this? So nos pusimos las pilas, but we went to every single bank. I'm talking Chase, Bank of America, JP Morgan, everybody, every single bank to try to get a small business loan. Do you think anybody would give us the freaking time of day? Nothing. What do you have? What collateral do you have? Show us your receipts. Show us show us how much money you've made in the last 3 years. We're like, we don't have nothing to prove, but we just have this huge PO.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't fund it. And I remember my mom was like, hija, ¿qué necesito hacer? Like, do I need to sell my house? Do I need to refinance my house? Yo saco plata del diablo del culo. And I was like, I'm sorry, mommy, but like, we can't.
Yeah.
We can't, we have to take care of you. Like,
Right.
we can't have you like lose your house potentially. Like, no. And she's like, okay, que Dios les bendiga. Like, algo va a pasar, un milagro va a pasar, right? So, and I don't tell many people this story, but we ended up having to go to JCPenney and being like, I'm sorry, we just don't have it. And like, at that point, you kind of try to have to pretend like you're more than what you are, right? But I'm still packaging orders out of my mom's basement. Right. I remember JCPenney being like, hey, so where can we send the loading dock? And I'm like, what is that? Well, here's a loading ramp. Like, our mom's driveway. You can't say that, right? So we had to just be like, yeah, so we're having a lot of trouble. We can't find anybody to give us a small business loan. And they're like, JCPenney came back and they're like, you know what? We believe so much in you, so much in this brand, so much in your mission about helping single parents in need. We love your formula, we love your packaging, we love you, we love everything about your brand. We're gonna front you the money.
Wow.
I love that.
And I'm telling you,
I'm about to be
Anybody better be at JCPenney tomorrow?
Okay, we all go to JCPenney after that is where it's at, okay? So when
That's
we got that
amazing.
news, it was like, okay,
Wow.
we can
What
do
a release.
this. But it was in, JCPenney had to believe so deeply in us, and that is why I'm so grateful to them. And I actually was at their headquarters, and I was meeting with all their general managers from stores like in Arkansas, Mississippi, and they're like, do you understand, like, you're the only brand that ever tags us in any of your posts? Because no other brand really wants to admit that they're in JCPenney. And I'm like, do you know how sad that makes me feel? Because the fact that I was in a basement packaging orders 2 years ago, I'm freaking proud to be a brand in JCPenney. And they go, that's why we are one of our top 5 brands. Because all of our employees see that, and when you post JCPenney and you tag us, that shit goes viral internally because you show us love. And at the end of the day, that speaks to their hearts. And what brand are they gonna sell? Shades by Shan.
Love that.
Okay? So that's how we did that, and we figured it out. But yeah, it was crazy because you hear of all these people, yeah, investment. This shit is bootstrap. Like, this thing is like, I have no investors. It's me and my sister. We put in our $1,500 each, and we just kept reinvesting, not paying ourselves. Like, all right, we keep going. And then my mom was like, aquí no pagan rent, okay? Aquí no me pagan rent. Aquí I will. But she's like, after we started kind of like blowing up a little bit, she's like, okay, but on PG&E bill, mija. Like, PG&E bill. I'm like, okay, we got that. Because we're family, right? Like, we have to help. We have to take care of each other. So I'm really, really so grateful to JCPenney for giving. They changed our life. They changed our life.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That is amazing.
Yeah, for us is kind of like a similar story. I mean, we're still bootstrapped and we are building this business with loans, grants, and our savings. For us to be able to grow, I think is thanks to the community. I mean, Latinas, we have such a huge buying power that we could change the country literally by the way that we make a decision every day. So I think that for us, it's the power of community, the power of like seeing the intentionality, the passion, how we were creating products that were so different. And for us, the opportunity came from Ulta thanks to a program as well. So we were part of the Ulta Muse program last year. And, you know, we were in different programs. I mean, Emily knows. She would send me every link and she's like, apply. Because that's what we need, advocates. We need people who are supporting us, who are like supporting and sending opportunities so we can continue to knock on those doors. Because those doors are not going to come and open. So thanks to programs like that, like the Ulta Muse program, which actually we applied 3 times. So we applied the inaugural year, the second year, and we got in last year. And I always believe that there's no coincidence, things happen for a reason. And we were in that program last year because last year was actually the year that it wasn't a practice round. It was really a program that we're really looking for a particular brand to help. So they gave us some cash, but they also gave us, I feel like, an MBA in supply chain. And the first thing that a lot of people think is that sometimes going into these retailers is so easy and it's gonna like be something that you learn overnight. Like, you're not shipping things to Amazon, like you're shipping things to a major retailer. So having the opportunity from them was like life-changing as well. And we just launched recently, so we don't have that long, you know, we don't have that long-term, we can't share like, you know, how we've been, but like, it's just the fact that they were able to bring us to almost 500 doors from the beginning and believing in us, and we're at an end cap, which is very expensive to get. So all of that is to show the support that there's still companies that believe in us, and that we need to support. But at the end of the day, that also goes back to the stat that Emily just shared. There's still so few of us because it costs so much money, and because we don't have the resources. So the fact that Shan is opening the doors in JCPenney and we're opening the doors here at Ulta, it's just gonna open up the opportunities for more brands to be able to launch in large retailers. So,
and we were talking about it earlier. I mean, there's so many brands at Ulta Beauty. How many of them? What was that statistic you
it was
told me
about
earlier?
4 or 5 Latina brands in total.
Out of like what 400
About
brands
400.
that are available at Ulta, and only 4 of them are Latina owned. One of them being you. For it's a huge deal. And again, congratulations for getting that. And you know, I do want to talk about, you know, our influence as Latinas and their purchasing power. You said, you know, if we all put our money together, we could really make a difference.
Like,
Emily,
oh,
yes.
can I share?
Yeah.
Tell us
Data nerdy.
Tell me.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited to be in community and just share, because it's extremely powerful. I mean, I think, you know, the data out there shows that as a community, as a cohort demographic in the US, we are the youngest, fastest growing, $4.1 trillion in GDP spending, but particularly when it comes to beauty, we overspend across all categories. So we're buying more products, spending more dollars than our counterparts.
Wow.
Like, that's factual. In 2024, so the latest data that has come out is we spent $12 billion in beauty.
Wow.
12 billion. That is a lot of money. And what the data shows is that as consumers, we are driving market growth. So in order for large beauty brands, any beauty brands to grow, they need this consumer base in their pocket, right? So I think Cory, when you were talking about the influence that we have, the power that we hold, even if you think about it, 1% of those $12 billion to a Latina-owned brand, you're changing their lives and for the next generation to build that generational wealth. So I think in that, like, those are powerful numbers.
Yeah.
It's crazy. 12 billion.
12 billion
That's great.
In a year?
in a year.
In a year.
In a
That's
year.
how much we spent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy.
And I think we spend 30% more than any other ethnic group in the country.
Yes.
that is crazy.
30%.
That is
3
crazy.
times.
I mean, well,
you
it
know?
honestly doesn't surprise me. I feel like beauty is so ingrained in our culture.
Yeah.
Like, I just, you know, I remember like my grandmother like would get me in trouble if I would leave the house with a messy bun and not iron clothes.
Yeah.
Like, she'd be like, you're go back and change. And I'm like, I'm just going to La Tienda in the corner, and she's like, no, like, you gotta look together. Like, since I feel like beauty is
I take a lot of pride.
we
Yeah.
take so
Yeah.
much pride in how we
Culturally
look, and
ingrained
you
in
know,
us.
it makes us how it makes us feel. So it really doesn't surprise me, but it is true that, you know, what are other ways do we think that we're like impacting these trends? Like, you know, you see the red lip, the clean girl aesthetic, right?
The
But
back bun.
the slick back bun, the red lips, the gold
Real
hoops,
funny.
it's
Right.
right. We're seeing like what are the other ways that you think that, you know, our communities impact
this industry? That
Definitely through trends. We're trendsetters of yesterday and the future. But I think also where we hold a lot of influence is for our creator community. Because we overconsume digitally. So across TikTok, YouTube, like we are the highest consumer of that information as well. And we know we're loyal, right? Like if your tia tells something, your amiga tells you something, you're like, I'm gonna go get that. So I think the creators hold also a lot of influence in how we shop. And it would be great to the evolution to be supporting Latin-owned brands, because we as brands, and as you guys know, we are in our infancy as brands within the beauty community, right? We're just getting started. If you think about Latin-owned brands, where they are, they're predominantly direct-to-consumer, and a lot of our consumers don't know where to find them. So we as an organization are creating that directory and advocating and putting that information out. So in that, we'll build the influence of like, hey, in beauty, let's support BIPOC-owned, let's support Latin-owned, and create that influence of, just because it's Latina-owned and founded doesn't mean it can't be used by anybody else. And I think we need to get the mass market to understand that while they're creating out of a need to create representation and products that for us, it is for everyone, right? 40 plus shades, guess what? It's not just for Latinas.
Oh, Middle America loves Shades by Shan.
You know?
They really do. Yeah.
And another thing to add to is that we bring in like our culture not only in trends or setting different things, but also even like in the ingredients and the things that we put into the formulas. For example, like for us, like when we were starting to actually share with Ulta like why we're different, we were looking at all their brands, all their hair care brands, and we looked at the first 7 ingredients, and the majority of them were the same. So there's like, how can we bring heritage ingredients that are like coming from like Latin America, bringing them in and actually changing the way the formulations are done. So I think not only are we creating trends, but we're also like researching ingredients that people don't know about here and bringing our culture in that way.
That innovation.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because when we were formulating foundation, we also said, well, how can we stay true to our heritage? Because Latinas, we all, like our tias, our grandmothers, like they all have such great skin. And so we started doing our own little like focus groups, and everybody was like, oh, rosa canina, rosa mosqueta, right? So we're like, well, can we infuse this with which it means rose hip oil. So we infused it with rose hip oil because that is what our heritage, our ladies they're putting on their face. So that's what it's also infused with 10 kinds of hyaluronic acid, aloe vera, the rosa canina. So we really like do so much rigorous formulations because we want to be different. We're like, the things that are out there are not working. So like, how can we make this and make it just be the best? And another thing that gets me mad is like you were also saying is like the influencers and stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of these influencers only want to talk about the big guns. They only want to talk about the bigger companies because of course they're probably cutting a check, and I get that. Everybody needs to make their money, but like, how about we come back to our roots and be like, hey, Latinas, let's just support each other. You know what I mean? And I was also talking with some of the ladies in here, like we've never had that like aha viral moment where it's like, oh my gosh, this person posted about us, you know? And the opposite, it's like we've sent stuff to these mega influencers and we don't even get a thank you. And that's why I'm like, where is the camaraderie? Where is the freaking like comadre, you know, like where is that support? Because if someone was reaching out to me with a platform that big, I'd be like, it's a no-brainer. Let's help each other. But I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't take Latina brands seriously or something like that. And I just, it really, it really saddens me to see that because we have that buying power. We have that purchasing power. We spend 30% more than the average consumer. And when we buy stuff, it's not just, oh, I'm gonna buy it for myself. I'm gonna buy it for my mom and my tia and my best friend. Oh, and her birthday and my coworker. They would love this. Yeah. You know, we are just that kind of giving culture. And so it's kind of like hit or miss sometimes, and it's a little saddening at times too.
Yeah. And I think that's Latinas in Beauty is here to change that narrative.
Yeah.
Can you give us more examples of all the work that you do with Latinas in beauty?
So obviously we are at the forefront, community based. We are the first and only platform dedicated to elevating Latinas within the beauty industry. And what we're doing is primarily using our platform to elevate our voices, elevate our stories year round. But on the other side, what we're doing is we're leading with advocacy, because while on the end we are spending, $12 billion in beauty and driving market growth, we still lack representation across the board. So in the C-suite and VP positions, we're less than 1% of Latinas, right? From a brand founder's perspective, I shared the data on, the capital. And while we make up 20% of the US population as a cohort, Latinas make up 10%, and in media, we're only represented 6%. So in all the ads that are out there, Latinas are represented 6%, even though we make up 10, and only 4% of ad dollars, of the marketing dollars, are targeting Latinas. Right? So we want to make sure that we as an organization serve as a collective to go to these industry organizations to say, hey, sign our pledge. So we do have a pledge for equity, so I invite everyone to sign. It's on our website, which calls on the industry CEOs and executives to say, I commit to advancing Latinas in the industry. And that means something different to each organization, so we're working closely with each one of them. So we're excited to say that Ulta Beauty did sign, L'Oreal USA, Rare Beauty, the name goes on.
I'll get JCPenney to
But in that is, we're breaking down those barriers, we're opening those doors that are so necessary for us to enter, and then providing access. So Latinas like access to education, then network. The beauty industry moves by who you know and who knows you, right? And so we want to be creating those opportunities for ourselves and making sure that we are in mind when those opportunities come, and then access to the capital, to the funding, right? So like bringing those individuals in and breaking down the gap would be like, hey, we're far apart. There's definitely opportunities for growth. How do we strategically move that needle?
It's so crazy to hear the numbers and the statistics, because we're in beauty and I work in media, and you feel it. Like, you feel the lack of representation. You look around and you're like, oh, I don't really have anybody to connect with. But then you put the numbers to it and you're like, we have so far to go. Like, there's still so much work to do.
Because we are in the middle of Hispanic Latin Heritage Month, right? Where our data is only shared during this time. Our stories are only really told around this time. And I think, just sensing what's being published, I feel like it's a little less this year than previous years. So like, that's the importance of this platform.
Totally.
Yeah. I was even speaking with you. It's like, why is it only Hispanic Heritage Month that we talk about these amazing brands? Why is it only now that we get spotlighted? Why can't we play with the big guns all year round? Like, why just now? When we've been around for 7 years and people are like, oh, there's a Latina beauty brand that is launching 40 shades of foundation and concealer. Why don't these other publications write about it? Why? But they can go and write about these other launches, and it's like, it's frustrating, you know? But it's like, it just lights a fire under us even further, because we want to work that much harder to prove them wrong and say, no, we're here and we're here to stay and we're making an impact.
Yeah, and you are making an impact, and I think that's something that's so beautiful about all of you, is that in some way, shape, or form, like, it wasn't just about your business, you also have given back to your communities. Like, I know, Emily, your whole organization, Shan, you started the Mama Berries Foundation, and Cory, you guys did your Helping Hermanas initiative. Why was this important to all of you?
Well, I think it was important because the statistics for single parents, when I saw them, it was about 17 million single parents in the United States, and you're telling me there's no resources for these people to go to for help? How does that make any sense? Like, please help me understand. And so for me, I've seen the struggle. I've seen what my mom had to endure. Like, I've seen us literally lose everything and literally not have anything. So where do these people get to go for resources? If my mom can get through it, how could I help other people get through these challenges as well? And so when we started the Mama Berries Nonprofit Foundation, a portion of each proceed, you know what I mean. It's been a long night. I know you proceeds go to our Mama Berries, and it was also important for me to start that, because when I was also looking at other charities, I'm like, well, where does that money really go?
Yeah.
what is it? You
You know
told me
where
this
you're
for
putting
admin
money.
fees. Like, what am I doing? Where are you taking a trip somewhere? Like, where are you going with this money? You know? So it was important for me as a founder to know and see where the money was going. And I'm not a person that's scared of getting my hands dirty, being scrappy, finding people from the bottom that need help. Because it's not single parents are like, oh yeah. No, the single parents that need help are like, they have no electricity, their car is getting repoed, they don't have a job, they're going through chemo, they have 3 kids, they don't have a partner, they don't have help. Those are the kind of people that we help from the ground up. And you can actually go to JCPenney, scan our QR code on there, or go to the mamaberriesfoundation.com website, also on shadesbyshan.com, and nominate a single parent. So if you know a deserving single parent, we have a committee of single moms that read through them and say, okay, Mija, we found these 3 for this quarter, go do your thing. And we award them $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 to help with just bills or like daycare or back rent, whatever it is. And we've been able to help hundreds of single parents with financial assistance. Now we're doing college tuition. Now we're doing scholarships. We're doing small business loans. Because where were they when we needed the help? And I want to be that platform. I want to be that makeup brand that gives these people these resources, because I went through that. I've seen it with my own eyes, and I'm here to give back.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, for us, it was kind of like, you know, at first when we started, we didn't have the funds to give in cash, but we wanted to impact the community overall in that sense of like young generations, young girls and boys, to make sure that they can embrace their curly hair early and learn and like actually take care of it at an early age. So helping hermanas just came out of like, we might not be able to give cash at the moment, but we can give product and we can help and educate. So we started in Reading, Pennsylvania, our hometown, and we just literally every back to school season we collect a bunch of different like supplies and also like provide our products. And then we contacted the Reading School District, and they were so happy to just like do an event, and then we just go and do that during back to school. And then from there it has grown to like other places calling us, hey, you know, we have a group of kids, they need stuff for back to school. So that's kind of like how we grew it. Our hope is to continue to bring it to other states and also bring it back home to the Dominican Republic. I think there's a lot of work that we can do there. Also just helping and, you know, motivating them to wear their hair curly. So that's where helping hermanas came from.
I love it. Do you have anything to add, Emily?
No, for me, it's just easier to get both philanthropic and marketing dollars. So, a nonprofit just makes total sense.
And I love that. What does it mean? You guys are amazing, and it is so inspirational to listen to your stories and how you give back and are like. What does it mean to all of you to be Latina women with your own companies in the beauty industry? Like what does it feel like, and what do you want people to know about your story and your journeys?
Oh my gosh, that it wasn't easy getting here, that I want to create that space, because I do think that there is a white space for Latina brands on those shelves, that we don't really see people that look like us, or that you don't see us represented up there. So I want to be the difference. I want to make history, and I think we're making that history with the 40 Shades of Foundation and Concealer launch, because it's never been done before by a Latina indie brand. It takes so much capital again. So I want to leave that legacy behind, knowing that I helped pioneer that movement, and I had that voice. I want to inspire other women and other girls to follow their dreams, no matter what your circumstances, because I've been through it all. I've seen it. I cry at least once a week. Like, let's be real. I cry at least once a week. It's hard. Yeah, you know what I mean? But like, if you have a will, you have a way.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can't quit when times get hard, because then look, you're not gonna make it, because there's mistakes that we put out fires every week. Like, there's shit that goes down all the time that people don't know, but you just have to seguir echándole ganas. You have to just you have to want it so bad. Know that times will get tough, but if you just keep pushing through, figure out a solution, troubleshoot, get out of it, and move on. the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just pinching myself just being amongst these your amazing people in New York. Like, I started in my mom's basement. I was embarrassed to say that. I was told by my sister who's helped me start the company, she's like, no digas eso porque no van a comprar. They're gonna, le van a dar asco. You know, like, don't tell them. Just like, you know. And so, like, that's how we started. But now I look back, I'm like, I'm so freaking proud that we've accomplished all of this. That we used to go to our local malls with the little 4x6 table with the little spin the wheel. Senora, come spin the wheel for free lip gloss. Like, we were hustle, and we were at that point like pinching ourselves, like, we're in our local mall. This is so cool. Like, oh my God, we have this shit right now. But like now, you know, being in 610 JCPenney stores nationwide, doing 10 million Ipsy boxes and BoxyCharm boxes, and yeah, I wanna be a household name that people say, oh my God, esa chingona, I love her, like, because we can do it. We can do anything we set our minds to. It's just gonna be a little bit harder to get there, unfortunately, but if there's a will, there's a way. We can do it.
Oh wow, I mean, how do I follow that? But for me, it's more like, how can we go back and like talk to that girl who at one point moved to a country, who didn't know the language, who moved here without no family, who was trying to figure out, you know, with her family what the future would hold, and who everybody told, you know, you have to go the safe route. Like, you know, you have to go get a degree and marry and get a house and you're set. So it's like, how can we break those standards? How can we say, well, besides, you know, I got the degree, I got the house, so now I'm gonna become an entrepreneur and I'm gonna become a CEO and I'm gonna be at Ulta Beauty. So like, how can we open up the opportunities to embrace the fact that we can do it all, and that if we really have that vision, we can inspire others to do it. So it's just kind of like that representation, but also allowing women to see, you could be moms, you could be entrepreneurs, and you can actually, like, you know, be successful at anything you set your mind to. So that is a legacy I feel like I want other generations to also not feel that they can walk into an aisle and not see themselves represented. And now it's like, we are leaving that in the past, and we're now seeing ourselves everywhere we go. Every shade, every color, every hair texture, that we feel comfortable, that you don't have to have a texture hairline or a texture aisle, it was just hair. It doesn't matter whether you're straight, wavy, curly. Like, why do we have to be silo into a section? That's what I want to break. That legacy of, we all have different textures, but we all belong together.
And Cory, I also went back, like, my vision just like went back to that little girl as well, and everything you both said like resonates with me as well. But I think in my journey and my story is, you know, my quote has always been, if you could see it, you could be it. But I think, you know, in sitting in my living room on a Sunday afternoon, putting out that first Instagram post, if there is I would want to inspire people to say, if you see a need, a white space, don't let your insecurities or your self-doubt be like, why me, right? You are enough, and you should feel confident in the value that you bring to the table and your vision to see it through.
It's beautiful. I have chills. I'm like very, it's beautiful hearing all of you. I think I want to start wrapping things up, and I'd love to hear, you know, end it on a call to action. What do you think that experts, editors, and even consumers, what are some of the ways that we can lift our communities and raise opportunities within this industry? What do you want to see?
Oh, well, I want to see more support. I want to see Latinas supporting Latinas. I think that it's just important to realize that the power that you guys hold as customers, like when you can go shop at a conglomerate, that's great. But when you shop Shades by Shan, like we're all like, oh my gosh, we got a food sale. Like that was that sale. Like we do a happy dance. We feed our kids. We like pay our electric bill with that money. Like it really goes a long way with people just being like, hey, you know what? I was gonna buy a liquid blush over here, but let me go check them out. Let me see what they have. Because we put so much love, heart. We go we go the extra mile formulating for our clients, because I feel like so many conglomerates, they put things out there just to put things out there and meet a quota. And I'm like, baby, this is not it. But like, who is approving these things, you know? Because I always say, everybody in our team, we have a team of 10 people. I'm like, if one person doesn't like it, I'm like, throw it away. Because that means one person out there could think the same. So if everybody loves it in our group, then okay, let's get to the next step. How do we make everything on the market but better? Like, how do we just go there? And it has my name on it. Like, girl, I'm not trying to get roasted at the end of the day. Okay? No, like, if it's not coming out, like, it's nothing less than perfect. So you know that when you shop at a smaller brand, like, they put so much heart and soul and blood, sweat, and tears into making that product. So it goes, your dollar is gonna go so much longer, and a brand that gives back as well. So it's like you're also getting some amazing quality makeup that helps the community, but you're gonna feel good at the end of the day, because like, oh my gosh, my dollar is like really gonna go out and make a difference. So that's what I kind of want to leave behind, is like, just remember to think about, whenever you are shopping, think about the other brands that you know you could be making a difference for, because we have families, we have kids, we also have dreams, but and I guarantee you our shit's way better.
I second that. What I also want to say too is, like, even though it might take us longer to get there, our community is there to back us up. And that is one thing that I can say, like, for Ocoa, that the reason why we're here is because our community is so strong. And one of the things that, you know, you might see small brand like ours, our main struggle is awareness. And like, that's one of the things that I want to say to editors, to the community, to everybody, that awareness is so hard to get and it's so costly, and that sometimes even costs our business. So the fact that you're sharing with the community, you're sharing with a friend, that as editors, you know, they're leaving a space for us, because that awareness could change our trajectory. And at the end of the day, our community are gonna go knocking on the doors. Whether it takes 2, 3 years or 7, 10 years, we're gonna still be there, because our community are going there and like literally supporting us in every way. So one thing that I can say that you can help, the way that you can help a brand, not only just by purchasing their products, is by sharing it. That like, that follow, that extra support, that other people that you might know within your community and your circle that could use some of our products. So I think that's like one of the things I want to leave behind, because awareness is very, very hard to get for brands like ours.
Yeah. And I just would love to remind everyone that like your purchasing power holds a lot of weight, and to be intentional with it, and that applies to everyone. But in particularly Hispanics and Latinas, where like the dollar is exactly what you both said, not only the purchasing power, but also the awareness, the visibility, the sharing. Collectively, we hold a lot of weight in this industry. Selfishly, I would say follow Latinas in Beauty, sign our pledge, advocate on the behalf of our community, which elevates everyone's voices. But yeah, I think we need to understand how as a community we can influence change.
Incredible. Well, thank you ladies so much. I hope everyone is feeling inspired, and a call to, you know, continue to support brands like Shan and Ocoa. And I really just want to thank you again. Thank you everybody for coming, and again, happy Latin Hispanic Heritage Month.
And I would like to say, we do have a giveaway going on at Latinas in Beauty right now, which these two brands are a part of. Enters like 20 plus brands, so it's a really great giveaway.
Yeah. Don't forget to get color matched and see with the foundation, okay? So everybody can get color matched. Also, and also, Latina is our celebrity makeup artist. She does Cardi B's makeup. Okay. Shade match you, okay? So
Look at her, Kimmer. Get the light.
There we go. Love it.
You guys want people's way?
Yeah.